today we have the Spanish formation Todomal. They make dark metal, doom metal, and I listened to the first couple of songs from their new album and I thought, yes, this is a band I want to show to the world. So I wrote and set up an interview. I hope you guys enjoy the questions that were answered by Chris, and who knows, maybe you'll start liking them too. First question to you is, could you maybe introduce yourself and the kind of music you make to people who have not heard of your band before?
Right, certainly. Well, my name's Christopher, and I'm part of Todomal, which is a duo. We're two multi-instrument players who can play all of the instruments, and we joined this project about 3 years ago. So we started off, during the pandemic, as many bands have done before, and since we've been playing together for quite a long time. So we decided to embark on this project, and it is what it is. And Harry can play all sorts of drums and guitars and everything, so it was very easy for us to set off on a new sort of different type of project. So it's a type of dark, I'd say, ambient, some kind of ambient music, a bit of doom metal stuff that I used to like. Back in the day, I used to like Candlemas when I was a teenager and that kind of thing. So, yeah, and that's about it.
Okay. Well, you just released a new album, A Great Good. This is your second album. Can you tell us a little bit how this follows up on the previous one?
Right, certainly. The first album was released exactly 2 years ago. And this second album is basically a bit of a build-up on the last album, now that we just found our ground. This new album, A Greater Good, is pretty much a piano sort of album. It's being sort of entirely composed with a piano, and it's built up on some basic sort of kind of piano demos, really. There's no much guitar, so it's a pretty sort of melody-oriented album, I'd say, as opposed to our previous album, which was more sort of guitar-oriented, and it's driven by vocals and the melodies of the piano. It's just as if anyone would be playing on a piano, like you, if you were playing on a piano, your dad's piano or something, exactly the same.
Yeah, I did hear that it was a little bit more melodic. That stood out right away. How
Right.
did this influence come to it?
I don't know. It's just basically, I'm sure you're pretty used to having a lot of growly vocals, in the scene. Doom metal is pretty,
Mhm.
talking about roses and, spring mornings and the dew, but there's this huge kind of, huge, enormous beast singing that didn't really click with us. So it's really getting that idea of getting a really melodic and epic sound and melody, which comes pretty much from symphonic music or classical music or bands in the 60s or 70s that were heavily influenced by classical music, sort of prog rock influence there. And that's where it comes from, really. It's just what you really want to hear, what your friends would like to hear, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the creation process of this album? How did you write and record? Because it's the two of you doing that, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's me, Chris, and Javi. Javi is he lives in Guadalajara, right in the heart of Spain, which is where it's very cold and barren and there's not much going on. And he plays all of the instruments, and he owns a studio, right? So he's a very experienced musician. He's been producing a lot of pop bands. He plays in an indie band, famous indie band in Spain. So the recording and the composition of the album, pretty much for this album, was pretty much myself on a piano. You just divide your piano into sections. You can play, with your left hand, you play the bass guitar. With your right hand, you play the other instruments, and you've got your voice. So you've got these three elements you combine, and that's pretty much how the album came to life.
Mm.
Yeah, and then Javi, as he's more of a producer type, he can just go to the studio, just record the drums, play the guitar as well, you know, just really make it feel, flesh it out, really flesh out the demos, and it's pretty simple process, to be honest, but it's a bit tedious because it's only two of us, you know. It's you kind of miss having more of a band atmosphere, but it works.
Mm. Yeah, I did wonder how you're gonna end up playing it live, but then I guess you have to invite a lot of friends.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah. Well, nowadays, like, it's changed a lot. You know, I'm sure you know many people from bands that hardly ever rehearse. I guess
Mm.
you just have a gig and you just meet back in the old rehearsal studio for a couple of days, and it works because you've got your computers, you've got everything, so it's pretty simple. I don't know playing, but Javi and I have been. We had a backing band by there's a Spanish band called Angelos Apatria. It's a thrash metal band from Spain, and they used to be our backing band for a different project we had 5 years ago, something like that. So it's very easy to have a band that's already playing their repertoire. You know, just perhaps spending a weekend studying the songs and playing it. So it's not that difficult, Sabine. It's not that difficult. It's just finding the right people and letting them do the homework.
Oh yeah, interesting. So when I was listening to the album, there were a couple songs that really stood out to me, and I think the first was "Infero Triste," if I
Right.
pronounce it right.
Yeah.
It has a very dramatic and epic feel to it. Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Oh, well, yeah, that was deliberately sort of doom metal song that we wanted to do there, just based the initial riff that Javi recorded, and yeah, that song, I guess it's what it tries to evoke is basically the weight of guilt, you know, of really looking at yourself at the mirror and just perhaps meeting your maker, whoever that is, and really recapping of what you've done in your life and realizing perhaps, gosh, you know, it's that kind of idea of confession. I mean, of course, you live in the Netherlands, I guess,
Yes.
right? Yeah, but of course, for me, Spain and Italy, southern countries tend to be Catholic, right? So the weight of guilt is very ingrained in society, right? You get all these people and these processions in the streets at Easter, and it's pretty grim, especially in the south. So the idea of guilt and repenting is very concentrated, and that's I guess that's my way of sort of trying to translate that feeling that you see, that really heavy feeling of repenting for your sins, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit, it's a bit hard to swallow, it's a bit, but hope that answered your question a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I saw you released "A Greater Good" as a single. Can you tell me a little bit about that and why you choose for that song to be released like that?
Right. Well, it's something to do with the record labels, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of you get called, you've got to use a single, got to choose one of the songs, and I don't know, it was just that song, I guess. Um, that's not my favorite song, to be honest, but I don't know. It's just a choice of
Mm-hmm.
Javi, I think, and David from Album Music. They thought they'd probably choose that song. It was
All
their
right.
best.
So, what is your favorite song then?
Good question. I don't know. You tend to hate your songs after a while because you've been working on them, just really on. I don't know. Especially vocal wise. You see, when you listen to music and when you play music, it's a different experience. You might sort of hate playing the song, but you might love listening to it. I mean, can imagine. I don't know, Mike Oldfield when he wanted to he was told to play Tubular Bells live, and he was absolutely stressed out, you know, on his way to the to the recording set, the live performance. So I think favorite song, I'd say it's probably Dust and Nothing. There's what that song there because it's got this part with idioglossia, this invented language, a bit like Lisa Gerrard or Cocteau Twins and that kind of thing.
Mm.
And it's the last song we did for the album, so it's the fresher song. And you know, and when you listen to a song for quite long, it tends to get a bit boring, you know. So let it rest for a while and perhaps you'd like it. But I'd say that's the song, definitely.
Okay.
And the ones Theodora, the ones Theodora sings, our friend Theo.
All right, yeah, Lost. I was also wondering a little bit about Lost because in some way it felt very personal.
A bit. Yes, yeah. These 2 years are greater good for both Javi and myself. We're a bit. You're not in the young side anymore, so we've had a terrible kind of personal sort of family loss. So that's been quite hard to swallow. Especially my dad died this year. There's quite a lot of things going on. Happens to everyone, of course. But
yeah, I'm sorry to hear. My mother died a year ago, so
did
I know
she?
very well.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And you know how that is. It's that you need to get it out somehow. Then maybe you. I don't know. I have no idea what that must be. But if your dad or mum is very old, it's different, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Sorry to hear something. Sorry to hear. Well, that's the theme, really. That's pretty much the theme of the album, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess so. Good. I noticed you have released a video for Antichrist of Love, and I found it very interesting because it shows me you guys seem to have a very strong idea of how you want to present yourself visually.
Yeah, strong. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's not all, bread. What did they say? Man doesn't live on bread alone, right? So that album, that song, Antichrist of Love, at least, is pretty much the oddball of the album, more of a strongest song, and it's about hedonism, to be honest. Just letting yourself go and really not thinking through what love is really, not just it's like your alter ego is like the devil in you, and visually, of course, that's kind of pretty much the idea you wanna convey, just being, just that Friday feeling where you just want to burn all bridges and you just want to drink and you want to go and you just don't really think about consequences of your hedonistic self. We've all been there, of course, but doesn't aim to be moralistic, but it is a bit. I'm not sure, but yeah. In fact, the bad thing about that is I think the song has been sort of cancelled a bit. It's a bit like that because it's got, so Google is not very happy with some of the contents of the song, so there's a penalty on the algorithm of some sort. I don't know. David will probably tell you from the label.
Come on, you're not like hardcore black metal. They're way worse.
I know, but violence, it's all right to have violence, but if you have any drugs or any, sex connotation or anything, well, that's what you get from YouTube. But anyway, never mind. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, I found it very interesting how you matched the album cover, the promo pictures, the video. It seems to be very much in one line, and I don't see that very often. I often see that there's some differences in there, and I found it very cool that you have that very clearly in line with each other.
Oh, right, fantastic. Yeah, well, Javi and I always do, except the cover. We record the video clips. Well, not all of them. It's sort of stock video. Don't say it. And we take the picture of ourselves. We record the entire album. It's
Mm.
recorded by us two, and but the cover this time is different, right? I'm not sure you're interested to know about the story of the album, but it's yeah, it's just choice of a cover that we really like pretty much.
Good.
Uh, you haven't asked for a cover, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't ask for it.
Good. What is up for you guys next now the album is out? Are you planning to go on a tour, or are you saying more like we're going to work on something new material?
Well, you see, Javi has a different band. He plays in an indie band, and he's got other commitments as a
Yeah.
mixer, a producer. So, and I play in a band called Jade, and we played in Germany this summer. Now we're going to England for a few days, and so I'm keeping myself busy there. But hopefully, we can set up a band and start playing some gigs with Todomal, because it's a bit difficult, a bit hard nowadays to get in a tour if you don't, if you don't have a lot of money or a
Mm.
backup promotion. So let's see how it goes, And as for our album, we'll probably start writing some music this year, surely, and let's see how it goes. Every day is a new thing.
Mm.
You know,
True that.
you but just wait, see when the album's out, see what reaction there is, and see where that leads us. So far, so good, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, then I have only one last question for you, and that is: do you have a Christmas wish or some wisdom to share with the world?
Oh, Christmas wish. Oh well, anyway, just try and take care of each other, and just not bickering, and not, you know, being a bit nicer to each other, and especially taking care of us, because and talking, and just not using your social media that much. You know,
Hmm,
it's
that's a good one.
it's a bit lonely. I don't use social media, and I sometimes miss it because it's pretty lonely because you don't get people to have long conversations anymore. They tend to gravitate. Don't they tend not to gravitate towards you, because your conversations are a bit too long, too
Mm.
pressing, so too intense perhaps. But anyway, that's it. Just having a laugh, just laugh. I'm not sure you found that, but people don't laugh that much as they used to, like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, maybe. Feels like the world is going to burn up or something.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just I was just reading the latest book from this chap called what's his name, Graham Linian. He created Father Ted, IT Crowd. Do you remember the IT Crowd, the series? Yeah.
Mm.
And he can't find job now because he's been cancelled because of his views. So it's a shame. You wish people would make you laugh a bit more.
Mm.
Because enough doom and gloom altogether, is there? You know you can just pack it in a record like we do and just ship it off and
Mm.
enjoy life as much as we can. Well, I guess that's a Christmas wish.